Galacticos! Ay, 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 we're ready here now for real news in this live format that you are enjoying so much. I'm going to show you first thing, I'm going to show you something. This is the clock ticking. This is how long is left in the transfer market deadline day. There you go. In a market that's really interesting for us Real Madrid fans, and I guess for football fans around the world, because it's one of the first transfer markets where Real Madrid haven't gone crazy spending money. We see the people already, it says Fernando Prieto, I'm late, I didn't see it in Spanish. Ooh, sorry about that. First, Minute Mitra, welcome guys, welcome to those of you who are already joining in. So again, back to the transfer market. It's an interesting scenario to see a transfer market where Real Madrid are not the ones that make the biggest, signings and selling players. 100 million, 96 million, the most expensive signing in history. And it's interesting to see how other teams that have always criticized on Real Madrid, saying like, oh, they only spend money, they're all about money. But probably we have been one of the quietest teams in this transfer market, which I really like. I think it's a good thing because it shows, for me, the main thing it shows is we finally are comfortable with our squad. This might be a milestone in the history of the Galacticos and Florentino and how people view Real Madrid, because on a transfer market that has been so active for a lot of other clubs, for Juventus, for Man United, for Man City, not only players but also coaches, Guardiola to the Premier League. Is Guardiola going to change the history of English football? I don't think so. But, Mourinho back in the scene, Ancelotti to Bayern, a lot of movement. But Real Madrid, we have our Zidane, we have our players, we already have a great squad. So, I don't know. It's an interesting transfer market. I know a lot of, I brought my little lucky cat here to see what the luck brings us in this transfer market. But what the luck has brought us is players we already had. And Asensio and Morata, to me, this is kind of a key thing. We say, okay, Real Madrid haven't signed anybody because we haven't, again, spent hundreds of millions. But we have signed Morata and Asensio. These are signings. The recompra, the option to get Morata back. But that was a signing. It ended up costing us 35 million euros. Well, not costing us, costing Florentino and the club. It's not our money, really. And Asensio was on loan in Espanyol. I don't know. I think those are very smart moves, bringing players that, number one, are Real Madrid fans, are Madridistas, players who wanted to be here all along, and they knew that they had to go somewhere else and kind of earn the right to be in the first team of Real Madrid, and they've done so. So I think they have, all the desire of succeeding here, which is good. And then again, some of the best players in the world that we already have. Cristiano is already on our team. Bale on our team. Luka Modric on our team. I could go on. But okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Any comments, any ideas about that? Fabio Coentrao, they say Asensio. Of course, Coentrao is another interesting scenario of a player coming back. Obviously to be a sub and to be, I think, a reliable sub. But let's go with some of the sports covers of the day. All right, it says Diario AS. Of course, we open with Diario AS saying Isco, Malaga or Tottenham. This is interesting cover. It says tic tac. The fax machines are ready, kind of making a little pun on the fiasco that Real Madrid underwent last year with De Gea. But it said mainly Isco, Malaga or Tottenham. I don't really know how to take the intention, if there was any, by Diario AS. Number one, maybe kind of leveling Malaga with Tottenham as a decent option for Isco. I think right now Isco going to Malaga would be definitely a step back in his career. I wouldn't put Malaga and Tottenham at the same level right now. Maybe some years ago when Malaga were like this close to making it to the semifinals of the Champions League, okay. But right now, I think Tottenham could have been an enticing option for Isco. It could have. But then, of course, Isco today kind of broke the press or stopped the press with this word. Says, me quedo, I'm not going anywhere. Me quedo means, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, says, I'm staying. So that's a good thing. Today, Isco was very clear saying, I'm not going anywhere. Real Madrid was clear we're not selling anyone. Our team is ready. So again, Isco is not leaving. Some people, of course, a lot of rumors about Isco leaving, maybe James, but James is also staying. Everybody's staying. I don't think in the next, let's see how much time we have left in the, only 3 minutes have gone by, but things can happen in 3 minutes. But no, nobody's leaving, which I'm very happy about again. Every club is a step down to Real Madrid, says our friend Stefan. Stefan, it's always good to have you here, man. How are you? Yeah, definitely. Every club is a step down from Real Madrid. Couldn't agree more with that. But, the difference for a player is, okay, if I'm playing Real Madrid, let's say 25% of the minutes, is it a step down to go to another club that is not Real Madrid, but where I will be playing maybe 90 minutes? But I don't think it's the case with Isco. We've been saying this. I think Isco has reached this point of, let's say, maturity, maybe, where he understands his role in the team. He understands that he's not Cristiano, he's not maybe Bale or Modric, but he knows that in a long season like this year, it's a long season. We're going to have 2 competitions, even though one of those competitions is just 2 games. But still, it's a lot of strain on the players traveling to Japan and all that. It's only 2 games, but still, it's in the middle of December, and we're going to have Copa del Rey, which is a competition that we played last year 90 minutes, and then we were kicked out. So that's the thing. It's a long season. There are going to be a lot of games for a lot of months. We're going to be playing Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. So, it is crazy to think for us fans and for the players as well that, there will be 11 players. And if you're not in the starting 11 of the first 2 games, you should look for somewhere else. I don't agree. I think Isco has finally understood that. He knows that his role is important. He's not in the equipo de gala, in the main team, but he plays a very important role for Real Madrid. I think Zidane is kind of turning Isco into a more complete midfielder, a midfielder that is not only valuable near the box, but it's valuable all around, even defending, controlling the pace of the game, distributing the ball around. I think Isco is a great player with a lot of talent. He's understood that his role is important, and he wants to stay. Of course he wants to stay. So he's staying. That's good news. A career on the bench is shit, says Shonen Anime. Yes, but it's not fair to say that a career on the bench for Isco. I don't think that's the case. The fact that you don't jump on the pitch with the first 11 players to start the game, that doesn't mean that it's a career on the bench. Isco, I'm going to guarantee you that Isco will play a lot of minutes this year. A lot of minutes. So, do you think we need a CDM, central defensive midfielder, or left back? Maybe, maybe it would have been interesting to see a bit of a backup for Casemiro, but again, it wasn't available in the market, in the signable players market. Like who? Sissoko? Playing 50 million euros for Sissoko? Or Kanté that ended up going to Chelsea, but, are any of these players as good or anywhere near Casemiro? Right now, I don't think they are. So I think it would have been a mistake to pay 50 or 60 million pounds or euros for a player that I think isn't worth it. So yeah, a left back, we already have a left back. Coentrao is back on the squad, so that's a good thing. Again, we've said it many times, I think he's a very reliable sub, and he's a player that has one very important quality that is not very common to find in Real Madrid players, which is he's kind of happy to be on the bench. He knows his place, he's happy with it. He knows he doesn't want to be a star. He doesn't want to be on the covers of the newspapers. He just wants to play whenever he's needed. And when he is needed, like he plays well. I think that's a perfect scenario for us. Hello, Iñaki says, is that you? No, it's not. No. I'm not Iñaki. I'm Vitaly, for those of you who have a little bit of confusion. My name is Vitaly, and Iñaki did it a few minutes ago in English. But anyway, watching from USA, Oscar Lopez. Big up to you, man, my friend in the USA. This is proof that the Galacticos are all around the galaxy, all around the world. Aubameyang or Benzema? Well, I think now, with only 4 hours to close the market, it's a very kind of rhetorical question, like Aubameyang or Benzema. In what capacity? Let's say, who do I think is better? Aubameyang is not coming. That's not happening. We know you have been asking for Aubameyang for months, but it's not coming. So Aubameyang or Benzema, I think they're kind of different players with different qualities. For what they have to do in Real Madrid, especially being a striker next to Cristiano and Bale, I'd rather have Benzema because I think he understands more and he's better in that kind of play where he can, hold the ball in open spaces for Cristiano and Bale to actually be the ones that shoot to goal. So Benzema is not a very, let's say, doesn't score a lot of goals, even though he scored 24, which is a lot. It's not a lot in Cristiano and Messi or Luis Suarez last season standards, but still a lot of goals. Says Benzema every day of the week, says Stefan. I say, yeah, this is a matter of opinion. I don't know. I like in the, let's say, in the context, in the habitat, the natural habitat of Real Madrid, I'd rather have Benzema. So let's go with what Marca has to say. Marca opens with this, says, oh, this is Morata, taking a kind of selfie there. It says, the most sincere selfie. I don't know what Marca trying to achieve with this. But anyway, I wouldn't waste much energy on thinking about that. It says, aporto mucho más que goles. This means in English, what I bring to the table is a lot more than goals. Which I think semantically for me is a little bit of a problem. Because I don't know if he's saying, I bring goals and more. Or I don't bring goals, but I bring other things. I don't know if you understand here what my doubt is. You understand me? Or no? What is your opinion on this? Well, my opinion here is we haven't yet seen you, Morata, bring goals. It's true that he scored one the last game. It was a very important goal because without that goal, we wouldn't have won. But I still feel that we are yet to see the goal-scoring Morata. I don't know if we are going to see it at all. I think it generates a lot of mixed feelings in Real Madrid fans. It was definitely a fact that in the stadium the other day, in the Bernabeu, people were losing patience quickly with Morata. But let's see, I think it's just going to be a matter of time to see if he proves that he's the goal scorer we need, to kind of add to the goals that we already expect from Cristiano and Bale, and some goals from Benzema, maybe from James, from Isco, from Modric and Kroos. But that's the thing, aporto mucho más que goles. I bring a lot more than goals. If you only brought goals, we'd be happy with that. So it says, Morata tries to do everything. Yeah, well, Morata away games, Benzema. I like Morata more than Benzema, says Dev Singh. Gareth Bale is my favorite player. Well, let's talk about this comparison Morata-Benzema. I think Iñaki made a very interesting point a few minutes ago. He said, it is not necessarily Morata or Benzema. There will be situations during the season where Bale is injured. Hopefully not, but, at this point, counting on Bale to not be injured at least for a month or two in a season is pipe dreams, as they say. So we might have the chance to see Morata and Benzema play together, and I think that will be an interesting thing. But then Morata says something interesting. To me, it's going to be a love-hate relationship for me and Morata the whole season. I'm already telling you Galacticos so that you are not surprised in the future. But Morata says, in this country, if you don't score goals, people say you are a shitty striker. That's a quote. I just leave it there for that to sink in, okay? In this country, if you don't score goals, people say you're a shit striker. My question is, in what country, if you don't score goals, people consider you a good striker? That's my question for Morata. So I know that Morata has a lot of good things that are not goals that can really add to the, let's say, offensive dynamics of Real Madrid, generating spaces. That's one thing he does very well for Bale and Cristiano, who will be more in charge of scoring the goals. I just think that, I don't know, Morata might not be the smartest guy when he addresses the press or the public with his comments. A few weeks back he said I have nothing to prove. He already feels that he's I don't know, It's difficult with Morata. I really hope, this is one where I hope that he proves everybody, especially me, he proves me wrong. Because I'd rather be at the end of the season saying I was so wrong about Morata, thank you for scoring 40 goals. Than be saying I told you so, I've been saying this for 9 months. But, we had a striker who scored 2 goals. So I'd rather, I prefer the first option. So I hope Morata proves me wrong. Let's see what you guys are saying. What do you guys have to say about this Isco staying, the whole Morata situation? Isco and Morata are great subs and future plays, but not starters. That seems to be the situation. I think now for Isco is that is clearer than for Morata. Apparently, at least judging by what they say to the press or to the public. So says, Aubameyang to Real Madrid today, have chance, Vitaly, no chance, that is not happening. So if you really were counting on that, but it's not happening. Let's see. You think that Lucas Vázquez is a good player? Oh yeah, I think that Lucas Vázquez is a great player. I think Lucas Vázquez is probably the best example of hard work and discipline put at the service to the team. Lucas Vázquez doesn't strike me as a player who wants the lights on him or to be the center of attention. He's a worker for the team, and I love that. I love how enthusiastic he is with every minute he has. You never see Lucas Vázquez complaining like, "Oh, I only have 10 minutes. I only played 5 minutes." It's all on the contrary. All you see about Lucas Vázquez is, okay, I have 5 minutes, I'm going to make the most out of this 5 minutes, and he usually does. And I love that. So I think Lucas Vázquez is a great player. I love him. Do you think that Madrid can win La Liga? Of course. If we didn't think Madrid can win La Liga, we probably wouldn't even be doing this. We wouldn't be talking to you and, using all our mental energy to see what we can do or how we can do it. But of course we think we can, definitely. Do you think? Do you think we can't? When Isco came to Real Madrid, play well like Asensio now. I'm not sure I understand the semantics in your question. What position do you think Real Madrid need to fill in, or are they okay with the current squad? Well, let's ask Florentino. I have a direct line to Florentino. So I just called Florentino, and Florentino sent me this. It's like, boom! Our squad is impossible to improve. Okay, look at the proud face of Florentino standing next to Zinedine there. Anyway, so in the words of Florentino, we're ready. And to be honest with you guys, I agree with him. I think with what was available in the market, it was very difficult to improve our squad. And I'm going to answer this with a question. I'm going to ask you, how would you improve the squad? With available signings, of course, Lewandowski for Benzema, I've heard it a million times, but, he didn't want to leave Bayern. Maybe David Alaba, but he didn't want to leave either. But really, let's say, on goal, I wouldn't change anybody. Center backs, would you change Pepe or Varane or Ramos for anybody right now? Would you? Would you change Marcelo for anybody? Would you change Carvajal for anybody? Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, would you change them for anybody? I wouldn't. Bale and Cristiano, Benzema, I think Benzema is a little bit of the doubt here, but, let's not forget that this guy's a great player. He's Benzema. He's had ups and downs and things, but, he's a great player. I think a lot of other teams would be dying to have Benzema on their squad. Says, very disappointed, George Davila, very disappointed that we did not get another CDM or someone to replace Casemiro. If he gets injured, I feel like it will affect how Madrid plays. Okay, this is a valid fear. We all have it, to be honest with you. But I think, number one, I don't think it's very likely to see Casemiro get injured. He might, be out for injuries or maybe accumulation of yellow cards for some games. I don't think it will be many. But in those games, I think we have a lot of players that can move the squad around to make it work. It's not like we need a clone, a Casemiro clone, for everything to work. Okay, there isn't another player like Casemiro. There isn't a Casemiro B. But, there's Kovacic. There's always the option of having Kroos playing a little behind and have 4-4-2. It depends on the game. If we, let's say Casemiro gets injured and he's going to be out, but those 2 games that he will be out are against, I don't know, Villarreal at home and maybe, Malaga away. I think those are games where we could definitely do with Kroos as a more holding midfielder, Modric and Isco and James and Kovacic. We have players, guys. Kovacic is great. I'm one of the Kovacic fans, for sure. So I think in some specific games he could do very well on covering for Casemiro. Isco to replace Modric in some games. I think it's kind of clear that one of the first subs or one of the subs Zidane has tried the most is Isco for Modric. Let's answer a couple of questions. Let's see. Real Galacticos es el mejor canal del Real Madrid. You know, and you know it. And you know it, and he knows it too. Look at how happy he is. Says, no player can replace Modric. He's Madrid's best midfielder since Zizou. Okay, I agree with you. I don't think that there's a guy that can replace Modric. Again, it doesn't have to be a guy that plays as well as Modric. Maybe when you don't have Modric, you have to change the system around to better use the strengths of the other players. Navas or Ter Stegen? Navas any day of the week. Martin Odegaard? I don't know. Where? Martin Odegaard. Villarreal is tough, especially away. Yeah, they are. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I meant no direct offense to Villarreal. I know they're a great team. They beat us last year in El Madrigal, 1-0, in a horrible game by Real Madrid. It was tough here at home, even though the score was 3-0. The second goal didn't come until like minute 75 or 80. A great goal by Lucas Vazquez. I was just, saying a team from the top of my head. I didn't mean that Villarreal were a weak side. We'll beat Las Palmas fighting. Madrid is the best team in the world. Thanks for Milan King says thanks for the English content. Thanks to you, man. Thanks to you for being there. If you guys were not there, this English content would be nothing. But anyway, Galacticos, I'm gonna say a couple of shout outs if you want to be shouted out. To Milan King, to Juan Felipe Aguirre Garcia, to Shonen Anime, to Osvaldo González, El Bicho. He wants to say El Bicho, so I'm gonna say El Bicho. Football God, thank you for being there. I99 Sports, Mick Tool, Kimo, Saint Iker, Bravo to City. Thoughts? Good for City, good luck to Bravo. Those are my thoughts. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a great goalkeeper. Osvaldo González, de nuevo El Bicho, Son Anime. Well, guys, I'm going to be ending this. Hope you had a good time. I always have a good time talking to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know. Keep commenting on. Let us know what you think about Isco staying, James staying, Florentino feeling that the squad is full and everything we have talked now about Morata, of course. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night. And as they say here in Spain, this is a little Spanish lesson for you guys. Hasta luego. That means goodbye. Hasta luego.